Section 1.5, Integer Operations. Today we're going to be adding and subtracting integers. So how do we know if we keep the positive or keep it negative? It says a review. So if we have a positive plus a positive, we add the numbers. So add the numbers and keep your answer positive. So we have positive 2 plus positive 5 equals 7. Notice that 7 stays positive. Now if we have a negative number plus a negative number, you add the numbers. So add the numbers. And this time you will keep your answer negative. So remember, we're doing a negative number plus a negative number. So right here, negative 2 plus negative 5 equals negative 7. Let's go ahead and do the next one. A positive number plus a negative number. So find the difference of the numbers. So let's write that. Find the difference of the numbers. Your answer takes the sign of the larger number. So for example, we have positive 2 plus a negative 5. The larger number is negative, right? 5 is. So we would do 2 plus negative 5. That would actually give us negative 3. Let's go ahead and see some examples that we have down here. We have 5 minus 8, or 5 negative 8. Well, it takes the sign of the larger number, which is a negative, so negative 3. Number 2, negative 5 and negative 8. Well, we can see a negative number and a negative number. You keep the negative, and now you have 8 plus 5 is 13. So you add the numbers according to our rules right above. For number 3, we have a 5, negative, negative 8. So remember that negative and negative now become a positive. So 5 plus 8 equals 13. Number 4, we have negative 5, negative, negative 8. Well, those negatives now become a positive. Right, let's make that more like a positive there. So negative 5 plus 8 gives us a positive 3. Number 5, we have 4/5 minus 9/10. Remember, we are subtracting a fraction, so we need common denominators. So let's make that common denominator. They both go into 10. We keep the 9/10, and we can do 5 times 2 is 10, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 and negative 9. So first of all, we know we keep the denominator the same. We do not subtract denominators. We keep the denominator the same when it's subtracting. And we have 8 and negative 9, which would give us negative 1 for our answer. Let's go on to multiplying and dividing integers. So when we are multiplying and dividing integers, we have different rules for our positive and negatives. So if we have a positive and a positive, your answer is positive. If we have and so we have 2 times, or 2, positive 2 and positive 5. Positive 2 times positive 5 equals 10. We have a negative times a negative. The answer is positive. Well, we have a negative 2 times a negative 5. That would actually give us a positive 10. if we're multiplying a positive times a negative, your answer is negative. So positive 2 times a negative 5 would give us negative 10. So let's go ahead and practice that in some of our examples right here. We have negative 2/5 times negative 3/4. Well, we have a negative times a negative, so we know our answer will be positive. So first we need to find, so now we know it's going to be a positive number, right? So in order to multiply those, let's go ahead, and we don't have to find common denominators because we are multiplying fractions. So let's notice that. So we can just multiply across. 2 times 3 is 6. And we can multiply the denominators, the bottom number. 5 times 4 is 20. Now we have 6 over 20. So we could divide that by 2. And we have 3 over 10. Let's go ahead and do number 2. Negative 2, which is really negative 2 over 1. So negative 2 over 1. And remember, we're dividing fractions, so we must take this fraction and flip it, do the reciprocal, which is 2 over 1. Now we have negative 2 times a positive 2. Well, if you could see right here, positive and a negative equals a negative. So we know our answer will be negative 4 over 1, which equals negative 4. So we will write negative 4. Number 3, negative 2 times negative 3 times negative 5. Now, this is an odd number of negatives here. So let's write odd number, well, we'll just use the number sign, number of negatives. So we have 3 negatives. Therefore, answer